Hello everyone. I said last time we were going to repeat this little cutscene, and we are.
視界にはデッドスポットと呼ばれる通常は使用されることのないいくつかの神経チャネルが存在することをご存知ですか？
それが第二世代と何か関係があるのかね？
そういうことになります。簡単な実験をしてみましょう。これをご覧ください。
子供騙しを聞いている暇はないぞ。
重要なことですよ。この図には左側にドット、右側にリングがあります。では左目を手で覆って見えないようにしてください。そのまま右目だけで図の左側にあるドットを見つめてください。いかがですか？ドットを見つめる目の端の方にリングも存在しますか？
いくらドットだけを見つめていても、隣にあるリングがついでに見えているのは当然だと思うがな。
では先生、ドットだけを見つめたままモニターに顔を近づけていってみてください。隣のリングはどうなりますか？
ほう、これは
興味深いね。
右側のリングが消えた。そうですね。これは視界が狭まったからではありません。その証拠にさらにモニターに近づくことでリングはまた視界に現れます。
これは一体どんなトリックだ？
いいえ、トリックの類ではありません。普段は使用されていないですが、人間が元から持っている目の機能の一つですよ。これはデッドスポットと呼ばれ、ノアによって人間の視界の中に無から有を作り出す際に使用するチャネルなのです。
The dead spots, sometimes very irritating. From time to time, when you look at something, you might lose it from your eyes, even though it didn't do an abrupt movement. For example, flies do this. It's not like you can follow a fly and then lose it, because what you do with a fly is predict its movements. You may not be aware of this, but you predict the fly's movements, and flies have the ability to fly into any kind of area and change their angle at will because of the way their wings are positioned. This means they can easily go from a 90-degree angle of flying to a 120-degree angle of flying in less than a millisecond. That is why sometimes when you're tracking a fly with your eye, you lose it. Has nothing to do with a blind spot, but I just thought I'd throw that out there. Classes had ended, and I stood by the exit. The sky was shifting to the color of twilight, and several crows flapped their wings and flew away without calling. I was waiting for Remy to come. She had cleaning duty. It wasn't that we promised to leave school together today, but I was sure she would, for me. I had already stood here for over 15 minutes in hopes of that. I had no idea what would happen in the morning, but somehow I managed to pass most of the day peacefully and safely. Missimi, too, had been wrapped up in talking to the transfer student that he hadn't pursued the subject of me and Ayase any further. I owed it all to the transfer student, really. Yay! Moso. Speak of the devil, here she was, passing beside me. She lowered her head to me with a face that seemed to be on the verge of tears. Despite my discomfort, I somehow succeeded in nodding back. I watched her back as she tripped off toward the school gates. Once again, I thought to myself that she was small. She had a lolly physique, On top of that, she was klutzy. I didn't know her well or anything, but she appeared to have a wholesome personality. Movie traits up the wazoo. But the girls didn't seem to care for her. What people value sure differs between the second and third dimension. All of a sudden, my field of sight went black. Something put pressure on my eyes, and before what? Oh God, called it. Not the first time you're doing this shit. Surely this wasn't said to exist solely in the 2D world, numbered among the urban legend of the 3D world, the notorious da-da-da. To think that a day would come where I'd experience it for real. I swear she's done it before. Right now, as of this second, I'd become one of life's winners. No, wait, cool down. Wasn't it unthinkable to encounter this urban legend in the third dimension? I see. This was a delusion all the way. After all, it was an urban legend. They're called urban legends because no one can figure out for sure whether or not they really exist. Fuck. It surely surprised me. I was beginning to regain a little of my composure. If this were a daydream, I wanted to wake right up, because I'd only feel glum when I did return to reality. No, since I was already here, I might as well savor this manifestation of a mushy, lovey-dovey urban legend to my heart's desire. Actually, I already get it, hint or no hint. I only needed to hear her voice to know. I spent day after day training myself to recognize who a voice actor was simply by hearing one of their anime characters talk. Yeah, that's what we all do. All the nerds kind of have that obsession for no reason. I'm definitely not a seiyuu otaku, but it's natural accomplishment for someone who watches anime. That's true. You just gave out the answer. What a silly Billy. But you're so adorable, Remy. There was a single reason I couldn't reply. Though I knew the answer, I was embarrassed by the prospect of saying her name. Well, it's a delusion, so I can take it easy. She took her hands away. I opened my eyes. When I turned around, Dreamy was standing there, just as expected. Huh. I hadn't woken up from my daydream yet. Normally this would be where the twist arrived, but making me come back to myself. I experimentally pinched my cheek. No, that's not right. That's the method by which you determine whether you're asleep or awake, but dreams and delusions aren't so different. In the first place, so not to totally the wrong... Bleh. God damn it, this sentence. But dreams and delusions aren't so different in the first place, so not totally the wrong way to go about it. Maybe wait, hold up, my cheek hurts. Wow. Wow. This sentence. Great job there, proofreaders. Ugh. Watch everyone now try to find a mistake in my translations I put on my manga thing. Had it all been part of reality? As soon as I realized that, I instantly grew bashful. Unable to withstand it, I lowered my face. Face? So Remy said, but her cheeks too appeared to be dyed faintly red. Was it the fault of the setting sun, maybe? My school, Suimei Academy, is located in the high-class residential district of Shoto. The individual houses are large, and from them oozes the sense that the people there have come out on top. Except even though it was in Shibuya, and even in the middle of the day, not many people walked around here, so something about the area always felt a little bit lonely. Wow, you must be fucking huge. Whoa! Heyo! She made me do a spit take. What the heck was she saying? Alright. Well... yeah, no shit. Rimi chuckled and poked the tip of my nose with her pointer finger. You're not supposed to point at people. Oh god. You're not going to go into a Samus tantrum, are you? If you know, then why? Yeah, I guess she must have a D sword as well. Yup. I told you I'm a pimp. It had certainly occurred to me as of late. Have I begun truly living in real life? Had my popular phase arrived? Etc. A situation I couldn't have imagined a month earlier. Back then, I hadn't even had the opportunity to talk to 3D girls, Nanami aside. Nanami being his sister, if you're just joining us. And I'd stubbornly, exaggeratedly insisted that I didn't have any interest in 3D girls. Why, over this past month, had I crossed paths with girls so much more frequently? Everything had begun from my chat with Shogun, which was why, once in a while, I thought, maybe all the events of this month were my delusions. Maybe I'd been seeing a long, long dream the whole time. I had the feeling that it wouldn't be odd if my current situation vanished like mist tomorrow. Or else, maybe the person behind me had changed. The former person behind me had liked playing mutely on his own, but the new one preferred to cooperate with other players, or something. If you're unaware of what's going on right now, in a certain moment of this LP, or this visual novel rather, Taku has said that he thinks someone is controlling him like you can control players on a game. So for example, life is a game and someone is controlling us from behind. And that's what he's referencing to. In any case, I didn't have any true sense of whether this past month had been real or imaginary. Too many things had kept happening. Rimi's tone of voice grew feverish. Rimi might be something of a crowd follower. Rimi came around in front of me. Well, God. See, this is why you do a screenshot let's play of this. Should have done it, but nope, I had to go the VLP route. Walking backwards while facing me, she lowered her voice and inquired cautiously. Aw, snap, you jelly?
聞かせてほしいな。私には聞く権利なんてないかもって思うけど、でも岸本さんと話してた時のタク、すごく思い詰めた様子だったから、なんだか心配で。
She'd seen even that. It might be okay to tell Remy every single little thing. I had no one else to talk about it, and it was exhausting to agonize over it. It was exhausting to agonize over it on my own. I wanted to hear someone else's opinion, not someone who spoke purely in abstractions like Ayase and Senna. Someone who would give me a clear answer, as in, it's like this. But then again, she hadn't believed a thing I told her yesterday.
話してたのは剣のこと。
剣って昨日タクが言ってたやつ。
You know, when I first started working and I said Yatsu, Yatsu is kind of like it's a non. Let me think about this in English for a second. It's not a polite way of addressing someone. Like, for example, if you say that person, you say anokata, which means that person. As I said, but if you want to say that guy, that dude over there, you say yatsu. So she says Yatsu to the sword. However, Yatsu is only normally used when talking about a person. And when I first started working in a bazaar here, I'm no longer there, but when I did, I worked in the center of Bruges, where lots of Japanese people come. And I had never talked Japanese prior to that. Well, only once. Out loud, I mean. And the person asked me, hey, can you help me? And he asked me in Japanese, and someone said, hey, don't ask him in Japanese, he's not going to know it. Be normal. And I just said, oh, no. Yeah. Nihongo de ii desu. Which means, no, it's alright. Do it in Jap. And he asked me, okay, so which beer is good? Now, that's a problem. I don't drink beer. I'm straight edger. So, anyways, I'm like, I know the ones my dad really loves. And I tell him, kono yatsu to, tosan no okini wa kono yatsu desu. So I said Yatsu 3 times to an inanimate object. And the Japanese person told me, hey, you speak really great Japanese, but there's a problem with the grammar you're using. You know, Yatsu, we often use it to talk about inanimate objects, but it's like very rarely done. Like it's like for example, you're talking about what we went to, like for example, you ate a steak, and then you get sick because of the steak, and then 10 weeks later you're like, oh, you remember I got sick because of that steak? And then they're like, oh yeah, that, and then Yatsu goes to that. So yeah, that guy was really friendly. He was an old guy from just under Hokkaido. So that, well, I mean, you know, the island Hokkaido. That was really nice. And he said, hey, great luck with your Japanese, and I really enjoy being able to speak it to you, and that felt really good. But anyways, the you know what I'm teaching you today, don't use Yatsu to talk about an inanimate object. Huzzah! We learned something, and this episode has gone on long enough. As I've now decided, episodes will no longer be longer than 25 minutes in any case, to keep your interest and to keep it, you know, kind of nice and tidy to edit. And I want to thank you very much for watching, and I'm sorry for getting a bit off topic there. See you guys next time!